I'm Nancy Newhart with the Alleghany Highlands Arts and Crafts Center, here with the artist for the new exhibit, Donald Earley from West Virginia, and a piece of his called Armed and Dangerous, which I just love. Please tell us about it.
Armed and Dangerous is not by accident, but it's about, I did some research on racism in America, and it dealt with children's toys, and it bothered me a lot, so I started painting it, trying to figure out the cost and why did it even exist. And it dealt with people who are just, it's hard to explain, but it's about degrading another culture, and I couldn't understand why. And it dealt with toys for children. So what happened is I started doing a lot of research, and I found several of these images on there, and I started painting them. And it broke my heart as I painted it, because as I did paint it, I started thinking about if only people who would see this would draw this, and they would feel so ashamed of themselves or feel so sad about how we treat other cultures. And it represented, there was a little quote, it took me almost weeks. It says, "Is the worth of a person is through a child's toy." And that's what I got from it. And this is the summary of it all. And that's how the image came. Portion of the image came. This portion came because of the insurrection. And no, it didn't come through the insurrection. It came because one of my students, I sent that image to him, and he sent back an image of the 1970 and that's 1950. Says, "We are men," and they were peaceful during a demonstration, and they were National Guard. There was tanks. There was dogs, and there was about maybe 30 or 40 people in uniform, and they treat them like animals. And so I started, it just broke my heart. So I started painting something. I just thought, instead of going out yelling and screaming, this is what I do. I paint, I draw, I do etchings, I think. Okay, this is a spin-off from Mario Cuomo I had to resign because womanizing. And the spiciness of woman, and the power of a woman, and the femininity of a woman that you can't mess around with. This is something that it's like a puzzle as I was developing it, and it just came out being this way. Even though the image of she had this black woman, because she is just a woman to me. It's me. I can't explain it. It's very hard, but it's very simple. It's not complicated. You know?
Just is so marvelous to me.
Oh, yeah.
It's free, and yet there's control, and there's shading and the value that somebody who spent years and years drawing and making those shapes become three-dimensional and alive. Just
that's an interesting one. I should give all the credit, and this is the truth, to Mrs. Frances Needy at FIT. She was the one who opened my eyes, my heart, and my soul to drawing. She was my drawing teacher. She's my drawing illustrator. And I look back on all the time, and I think of her as my guardian angel, because even when I was in high school, I drew, but nobody paid attention to it. And I really worked hard at it, but when she came along, she was the one who told me, you got a good line quality, and she helped me develop it. I didn't know anything about it, and that was what made it.
Well, thank you to her.
Oh, yeah.
I know you love to fish.
Fly fish.
Fly fish.
Fly
Excuse
tie.
me, let me get it right.
Fly fish, fly tie, collect antique fly tackle. I'm an addict for that.
Okay.
I got a ton of them down there. I got so much, and I keep going at it. And one of the things that's funny, I love fly fishing. This is my sweet spot in life, where it's called Second Creek. It's now only 45 minutes from where I live. And I can go there in the afternoon, I can go in the morning, I can go whenever I get. not depressed, but I just need to get out. I got a very good friend of mine. We just go there and have a great time. We spend about maybe 4 or 5 hours fly fishing on great days. The stream is magnificent. And I do a series of paintings, drawings, and prints of that particular area all the time.
Art has the capacity to inform us of things that we didn't know.
Yeah.
I never knew that there was a steel mill in Richmond.
Yeah.
And so I thought this was a particularly interesting dry point. But explain to me and all of us listening a little bit about how the dry point process works.
Dry point is very simple, but it's very tedious, and you got to start thinking about what you're doing before you do it. And one of the things that makes dry point interesting is a metal plate. I use zinc and nickel, and a needle, a diamond head needle. That's etching tool, because etching tool, but that's a dry point. And what I found out is, for me, is I say this to myself every single time I pick up a plate. Behind every line is prayer. I gotta make sure that every line works. And the line is so minutely small, teeny, that you barely can, it's all in my head. And as I'm developing, it's almost as if I'm taking control of the plate and bending it. I am shaping it, but I'm doing it on a flat surface. It's almost three-dimensional. I'm trying to go around and hold the image up. And all the lines that every time I stroke, there is no etching involved. There's no acid. There's no any kind of chemical that's involved in this. This is straight on the plate. And everything that I see in the person or in the image that I'm dealing with has to be, it's not even right. I can't even say perfect. I have to understand, it talks confused because it's difficult enough. It's not even difficult enough doing it, it's discipline. And what I've learned through that is through my drawings, I treat it in the same way I would do a drawing. But with this, I can't erase. And I can't go back, oh, big mistake, and take something. I have to think, the nose is there, the eye is there, the head is there, and it's three-dimensional, it's not a one-dimensional form. When I was doing this, I went to the steel mill and I literally sat down and drew it there.